time once again for On Point Live, right here from the CRN studios in Los Angeles. Well, welcome everybody. Glad you're with us on the show. I'm Vince Ferragamo, former Los Angeles Rams Super Bowl quarterback, my good friend and longtime Ram protector, legend, Hall of Famer. What are you going to say? Number 78, Jackie Slater. Jackie, great to see you, brother.
Good to see you too, Vince. We had a real good last couple of days, and the weather has been just horrendous here in Southern California for what we're used to. You know, I mean, the temperature, man, and then the fire. The people are suffering with the fires and everything. I hope that gets all over real quick. But it seems like it's settling down a little bit. And I always cool off a little bit when I come into this nice studio and I'm sitting here with the air conditioner blowing and Corey is sitting over there and everything. Yeah, I'm feeling comfortable now.
As we get through this last part of the summer, Jackie, you know, we're getting closer to the regular season in the NFL. We're upon our going on our third week preseason, so This has been a real wild time. You know, we were at the Rams game this past weekend to see them play the Saints, and you know they were honoring one of the legends of football, Jackie, commemorative Leroy Irvin, our good friend and buddy, former teammate of ours, and they had some highlight reels on the jumbotron. It was great to see him and share the thoughts and go to his services. It's a great loss for the Rams family, but I think he's will always be in our minds.
Oh, no, there's no doubt about it. There's only one Leroy Irvin, and, you know, that was a testament to who he was with what the Rams did, and his family were very supportive. They were out. They were in the suite with us Stan Kroenke and his staff hosted for the Irvin family, and we just had a wonderful time. You know, it was sad in a way because Leroy would never be the type of guy that would want you crying over him. He always was smiling. That was the type of guy he was, always encouraging other people. But we just enjoyed being around his family and celebrating him. In his memory.
And Jackie, what we did too is we went out and harvested grapes. You know, our grapes were ready to go. The Ferragamo grapes were all done Sunday night, 1,700 pounds for about almost 40 cases. Wow. I'm telling you, good sugar levels, Jackie, but it was getting so hot we had to do it. It was time. So anyway, it's time now to also thank all of our sponsors. You know, Jackie, Harmony Cheese has been a great, wonderful sponsor for us.
Absolutely.
One of the best cheeses out of the Midwest. You know, we have to visit our website at onpointlive.net and also follow us on Instagram on .point.live, our YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe. Everything about the broadcast here will come live to you, and we're excited to share a lot of what's happening in the NFL. We'll be right back on Point. Well, welcome back to On Point Live right here from the CRN studios. I'm Vince Ferragamo along with Jackie Slater. And Jackie, you know, Harmony Cheese. What's your favorite types of cheese that they produce?
You ask me this every week.
I know. It's this.
Ask Miss Bree. She'll tell you. That's the one that I order all the time.
You're always ordering
Abrigelli is my favorite, Vince. Come on. Don't forget that.
Don't forget the Merlot cheddar, too, Jackie, and all the different types of different varieties they have.
It's because amazing. The cows are so healthy.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
The cows back there have to be the most healthy. This is the best cheese
we got to
I've ever
get the
eaten
Rams to eat this cheese, man. Are they going to go a long ways this year, Jack? Because, you know, in the preseason, they've been looking really good.
Yeah.
I mean, they've scored, 54 points?
We were at the game the other night, and I was just blown away at how many guys that they have on that roster right now.
They're loaded.
That can make plays. You know, all throughout their secondary. They got pass rushes, man, that's coming from everywhere. One guy, you know.
How are they going to – well, let me ask you a question. How are they going to cut down this roster when they have that much depth? Where are all these players going to go? Are they going to go somewhere else?
You know what, Vince? They're going to –
they're players.
If they're good enough, they're going to land on their feet. And trust me, just like everybody is watching the Rams and what they're doing with their personnel and their schemes, you know, the Rams are watching other teams. So these teams are going to come as soon as some of these guys hit the streets. If the Rams release them, they will be picked up because the guys that we watched in the game this past week, it was just hard to tell who was unworthy of being on this roster.
And you know, it all starts up front. Okay, the offensive line. And, Jackie, one of the highest graded performances so far in preseason has been one of the offensive linemen.
Yes.
Guy's name is Bill Murray.
Bill Murray.
Don't confuse that with
Vince,
the actor Bill Murray.
But, Vince, the interesting thing about Bill Murray is that he went to William and Mary, little William and Mary. Dude is like 6'4 and a half, 321, and he's playing offensive guard. He had a very strong outing in pass protection. He had a very strong outing in run block percentages. He was given by Pro Football Focus, a 92.3. That's almost 93% effective quality work by an offensive lineman. And that's something that we want to see because, the Rams – they're building on their strength. Mm-hmm. One of their strengths has been their offensive line, and we know that we lost the big left tackle who had been there.
Alaric Jackson?
No, the one before him, the Havenstein.
Oh,
he was
the
right tackle that had been there for years, and new guys are going to have to stepping up as leaders and stepping up in their performance, and I'm looking for that to happen, and it's going to be really nice to see when you bring in young quality players like this who's going to be sitting there on the bench anxious to get in games.
And not only guys like that, Jackie, that have been very productive. I mean, I've seen it across the board, their offense, their defense. And you're talking about, let's go on the other side of the ball, defensive pass rush.
Oh.
There's one young player. He's a rookie this year, Jackie. Wesley Bailey.
Right.
Okay, number 47 is coming off the edge, Jackie. He's had 10 pressures. That's twice as many as any other player has had.
Right.
I mean, you got Myles Garrett on one side, and you got Bryant Young over here is hurt right now.
How does he get on the field? Brian Young does have a knee brace that he's been having some issues with. And then, of course, at one point in time, Myles Garrett had missed 4 consecutive days. But where does Sean McVay and where does Snead keep coming up with these guys, man? You got to be digging deep to come up with it, because it's not just the body, Vince.
Yeah.
You're not recruiting bodies and signing bodies. You're signing what's on the inside of these bodies. And a lot of these bodies that look like it can't get it done, what's on the inside is what makes them very, very special.
That's what's going to stick out. And Jackie, not only what's on the inside, but his physical attributes. 6'5", Jackie, 265 pounds.
That's a defensive end.
That's a range, man.
That is a defensive
Can you imagine
end.
him dropping back in space over there? Man, he's going to cover a lot of space now.
Yeah, but it seemed like to me he's going to be a little slow dropping back in space to cover it back. I might throw him every time. The best thing to do with a guy like that is leave him on the line of scrimmage, put his hand on the ground, and let him get after the quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, 10 pressures in one game, Vince. And that's not even to mention the other things he did. Yeah. He had twice as many as any other player in the form. It was difficult it's going to be very difficult for the Rams to decide what they're going to do with their roster.
Well, they're going to have to keep him. He's certainly made a big impression.
Oh, yeah.
On this coaching staff.
I mean, every time the quarterback.
Mike Shula's is loving it. He's laughing up and down, running up and down the sideline.
He's got to be loving it, because guys like this guy.
How about Alex Cook? He returned a 100-yard touchdown interception.
Yeah, where did he come from? Where'd he come from? And I mean, then when you start talking about the defensive backs, man, we know that the 2 guys that they signed from Kansas City.
Jalen Watson. And
McDuffie.
Trent McDuffie.
Yeah. Now, the interesting thing is that they've already decided how they're going to deploy these guys. Watson is going to match up with the tall Ranger receivers. Now, what did he get, $34 million guaranteed?
He got $51 million overall. I know that.
and then the other guy is going to be paired up with the smaller,
Trent
quicker.
McDuffie
with the smaller, quicker, change of direction type guys. And
Jackie,
they're both built like that,
These are the way these guys practice, though. In practice, you build this camaraderie. You build this confidence, right?
Yeah, but these guys
the way they talk it up.
How long have they been working on it? They were together in Kansas City.
But as soon as they get here, they're recognizable. And they're everybody's listening to them, and everybody's responding. They push the receivers.
Oh, yeah.
They're pushing Devontae Adams.
Pushing Devontae.
Puka Nacua in practice every day. I mean, that's what you have to do to get
better,
as you know. I don't care if you're at the top of the game.
And all of these other receivers, Vince, there are a lot of other receivers on the Ram rosters that showed up in the game last week.
Now, let me ask you a question. In the last game against the Saints, I see some of their coaches over there on the sideline for the Saints. They're crossing their hands like this.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's the posture of a person that has thrown in the towel. He has thrown in the towel because everything that's happening is above his head.
They got the big 0 on offense. They didn't score 1 point. On defense, they couldn't stop the Rams.
They couldn't stop.
And we're going to talk about our quarterbacks here in a minute. But I'm telling you.
It looked like they were playing against a high school team.
Let me tell you another
receiver. An unmotivated high school team.
2 receivers sticking out in my mind. C.J. Daniels. Okay, he's a wide receiver, Jackie. He led the team with catches last week. But the week before that, he had a few catches. Okay, he was picked in the 6th round. I mean, the kid can play from the University of Miami.
Yes.
He's coming in here now. There's a spot for him. And you got so many receivers. Alex Bachman, another kid in his third year from Wake Forest. He doesn't look bad either.
Right.
All these guys under this system can produce because they have ways to get open. They're learning how to get open. And I'm telling you what, it's really – we can see it right now in preseason.
Right.
And this is only the second game.
Only the second game. Hey, and what about Jarquez Hunter?
Oh, yes.
Here's a guy they drafted out of Auburn as a running back. Last year, he was the fourth overall, fourth pick for them. And this young man, when he was at Auburn, he averaged 6.4 yards per carry, Vince. Think about that.
From Philadelphia, Mississippi.
From Philadelphia, Mississippi.
That's your hometown.
The home of my wife's relatives. In fact, we were back there for homecoming. And the first time I heard Jarquez Hunter's name mentioned was all of the people in Mississippi who knew him because he grew up in the same community as Marcus Dupree. And
another great running back.
Yeah, another great running back from Philadelphia.
They were ranting and raving about this kid, though.
Yeah, they were ranting and raving about him because they said he was better than Marcus Dupree. And I'm thinking, oh, wait a minute. Now, who's better than Marcus Dupree?
Well, he had 12 carries for 68 yards in the last game, Jackie. But one thing that really sticks out in my mind as a quarterback, not only can he run the football, but he's one of their best pass blockers at running back.
He had the highest pass protection rating of all the running backs.
That's impressive now.
It wasn't even close.
That's
and
impressive.
The guys back in Mississippi were telling me he could lift 600 pounds. Now, I'm not sure if that was a squat or what, a deadlift or what, but the little fella is strong. And he's bigger than the other two feature backs that the Rams use. So.
Hey, one guy slipping through the cracks is Dean Connors. Don't forget him. He scored a touchdown in that first game, Jackie. They're kind of hiding him a little bit.
Yeah.
He's a little shifty kind of running back. But you know what? Each running back have their own qualities and traits that they can be utilized in this offense.
Absolutely.
So don't forget about all these guys because they platoon. 17 guys caught a pass in that last game.
17 receivers. 17 guys.
Go figure.
That's a testament to ball distribution, to understanding and practicing.
Everybody, it's like a group
weaknesses.
effort. It's like
McVay and his staff are doing a fantastic job of assessing the weaknesses of their opponents defensively and attacking them.
They got to have
consistency.
They got to have a participation trophy, Jackie, for all these guys because it's amazing how many guys are getting in and doing well.
It really is.
Well, Jackie, it's so much to talk about. We have to get back and talk a little bit about the quarterbacks here around the league and who's been impressive. Especially a lot of the backup guys. They're really making a big name of themselves. But don't forget to stay tuned. We'll be right back. But all of our sponsors, On Point Live. Hey, if you want to email us, onpoint@crntalk.com. Don't forget. We'll be right back right after this. Well, welcome back to On Point Live. We want to remind all of our viewers to follow us on Instagram and take a look at us on the YouTube channel, On Point Live with Vince and Jackie. Subscribe to it. And also, if you want to listen to us on CRN Radio, digital radio. We're on Tuesdays from 4 to 5, also from 8 to 9 Tuesdays. Wednesday morning, 8 to 12. Saturdays, 8 to 9. And Sunday from 6 to 7 in the morning. So wake up early and listen to us. CRN, just dial it right in on your applications, on your phone.
If you don't mind my saying so, you're getting to be pretty good at this, I'm not sure that Mike. Well, I'm not sure they want to rush Michael Horn. I know we want him back, but we might not want to rush him as fast as we're thinking.
He'll be back. Don't worry.
You're doing this, man.
Thank you.
That was fantastic.
Well, we have to thank our sponsors, Jackie,
absolutely,
because they make it possible for to air this show.
Absolutely.
But as we were talking, Jackie, in the NFL, it's so interesting to note that how these teams get to the final selection process. They got to get down, and some of these guys are marginal. I mean, they're right there. They have to flip a coin to figure out who they're going to keep on their team. But, talking about quarterbacks, and we know the Rams obviously have a great team all around. They're stacked. But the quarterback situation, Matt Stafford is QB1, obviously, but who's going to step up behind him? What if something were to happen? We don't wish that on anyone, but you just have to be prepared. You've got Stetson Bennett from Georgia and Ty Simpson, drafted number 11 overall in the first round by the Rams this year. And there's a lot of debate now, well, who's going to be QB2?
Well,
yeah, you have your opinion. I have my opinion.
Yeah, I
Let me
know.
start off with your opinion first. Who do you? I mean, who's been impressive?
well,
They're
first of
both
all-
good.
first
They're
of all-
both great quarterbacks.
First of all, let me just say this: when you hear a head coach, particularly a head coach like Sean McVay, who is so actively involved in the offensive scheme that he put together, the personnel that he's put together, when you hear a guy like that, make a statement that this is still my quarterback's team. This is still Matt Stafford's team. He's saying that, in my opinion, in a sort of a defiance attitude. In other words, he should have been everybody's quarterback, his included, okay?
Yeah.
And they should have said, it should have been said out of the organization that Matthew Stafford is going to have some competition with the 11th overall pick in the draft. Because think about it, Vince. As long as you and I have been associated with this game, we have never, ever seen a guy drafted this high who wasn't thrust into a position of leadership as soon as they possibly could. I remember Jim Everett coming to the Rams. He was a high pick out of Purdue. He was only there like a week or two before he was in the starting lineup. And he ended up being a really good quarterback for us for a long time. So I understand that Ty Simpson has been there for a while, and I understand that he has made a few plays with his legs and everything, had the 2 rushing touchdowns and everything. But make no mistake about it. As an organization, they are hanging their hat on Ty Simpson. Ty Simpson is the guy that if all of a sudden Matthew Stafford couldn't go, in my opinion, Ty Simpson is the guy that goes in the ball game. Okay. And they'll rather have him, a high pick with all his intangibles, learning on the fly, than they would rather have a guy like Stetson Bennett, in my opinion.
Okay. Ty Simpson, when the little bit of time that he's had in the preseason, he's looked very impressive. Okay, he does things. He's very calm back there. He does things. He's very much in.
Most people do when they're seeing meat and potato stuff in the preseason,
right,
where people aren't showing them their defenses.
Yeah, he has. Now, Sean McVay, I don't know how much influence he had in the selection process. He wasn't exuberant about the choice in the beginning. There could have been reasons. Did Les Snead, his good friend, was Ty Simpson's dad? Would that have anything to do with that pick? But, what you had currently and what we have today, we have to look at what is the now factor. And the Rams are headed for they're going to one of the top teams in the NFL. If something were to happen, who's going to step in and lead us to the Super Bowl? Okay, my impressions of both quarterbacks, and I've always said this, I won't change, that a rookie quarterback coming into the league needs time to develop. I don't care how good you are. Jim Everett, I don't care who the quarterback is. Jordan Love, 3 or 4 years, now he's playing. I mean, it takes time. He was drafted in the first rounds. A lot of these guys are drafted in the first round. I don't care if you're a first rounder or a last rounder, you need time to develop. And that's going to take that's a process. When I look at Stetson Bennett out of Georgia, I see a kid that was passed over, that he came back, great work ethic. I'll prove these guys wrong. He wins 2 national championships. He comes to the Rams, have a little bit off the field problems. He comes back. He's ready to go. The thing that's impressed me about Stetson Bennett is he's comfortable, he's confident, and he's always in control. Okay, so now
which is more than we could say for some of his passes, because sometimes he looks like he couldn't hit a bull in the butt with a base fiddle.
No, he is accurate. And then, Jackie, he is programmable. It's like you're driving the car, and you put it on speed control. Okay, you go set it at 60. You go 60. You do it. You want to go 80? Go 80. Oh, it's traffic. Let me put my foot on the brake. Come off of it. He'll adjust. He went for 2 rushing touchdowns when things weren't open. He took it in for scores this past weekend. Given a chance, the first game, they said, well, he didn't play. It wasn't impressive. He was still 4 for 6 for 58 yards or 68 yards.
Vince, I can't believe
he had 2 drives. But Jackie,
you're being enamored with a quarterback who happens to be able to run and get into the end zone.
No.
With his legs.
No,
that was not you. You always believe the arm is the most valuable.
The arm is important. It is probably
has.
The most important commodity. But I'm telling you that he can throw the passes that are required. People look at his size, they look at what he can do, and they say, they have a question mark. No. Analyze it. If you know how to throw the ball, watch him. And the ball he threw a pass last weekend. I don't think any of the quarterbacks could have fit that in there. He fit it right in there. The receiver caught it. And so, I just think he's in very much control. And if they were to go to a quarterback today, I'm not saying in 3 or 4 years. I'm saying today, this year, he's the guy. He's QB2 in my mind. Ty Simpson is a good quarterback. He's just going to take that little extra time. Hey, no problem. You got a full career in front of you. So learn. You're going to learn from Matt Stafford. You're going to learn from a great coach, and just do the process in time.
Well, I guess I should concede that is probably very, very possible because, as we know, Sean McVay has no history of developing a young upstart quarterback. And this would be an opportunity to show everybody that he has the ability to do that, because if he puts Stetson Bennett out there, he certainly has had a hand in his development. And then later on, Ty Simpson will be the second one. So, that's an interesting observation that you make there.
And let's jump across town over here to our Chargers. They got beat 41-17 by the 49ers. And in camp earlier, they kind of clobbered the 49ers. All of a sudden it was turnarounds, fair play.
Yeah.
So the 49ers came out and really kind of controlled the entire game. Offense, defense, special teams, Jackie. What's going on? The Chargers have a good team, but they didn't play hardly anybody.
This is what puzzles me, Vince, and I've dealt with this personally. One of the most difficult things to get coordinated and get on the same page and start having a lot of production doing is running the football. Oh, right. And the reason why is because there are so many guys at the point of attack. It seems like the farthest guys away from the point of attack now have some of the greatest impacts on certain running plays. You have to be synchronized. It is not like a guy running out one-on-one with a very good corner and then him making a decision and the quarterback being on the same page with him, you're putting the ball there. When you're running the football, Vince, you have to have 10, 11 people on point as to exactly where the ball is to insert into the line of scrimmage, who's carrying it so you can anticipate his speed and quickness getting to the hole versus the next guy. All of that goes into play when you're trying to be a running football team. And trust me, it's a whole lot more difficult to be a good running football team than it is a passing football team. But in my opinion, Harbaugh, this is who he is. In my opinion, I don't think this is who the Chargers, I don't think they're going to be laying down to teams like this. I think what we're going to see is a lot more rushing from them and a lot more efficient rushing from them. Now, the thing that concerns me just a little bit is Mike McDaniels, the offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
I didn't see any stick-to-itiveness relative to them running the football.
Well, we didn't go to practice. And we're seeing a lot more of that in practice. But now we have to parlay that into the actual game. So they have one more game. Okay, they're going to get this thing ready because we're getting closer to the regular season.
Right.
They're going to have a tough schedule right off the bat. So
plus they lost Tyler Biadasz, their center.
Yeah,
they lost
that was
him.
a big loss.
And then we've seen a little bit of the Slater kid at left tackle, and just a little bit more of Alt, the kid that they drafted last year. So these are critical pieces when you talk about running the ball. And I think you and I are in agreement on the fact that both the Harbaugh brothers got it from somewhere in their lineage that they have to run the ball. The football to be successful. So we know they're going to be doing that here with the Chargers, and I anticipate this just being something that it'll be a scratch on the wall, and they won't think about it by the time week one rolls around, because Justin Herbert is going to be very good under center and the play action passes and stuff and handing the ball off. I think their running game is going to be the backbone of what they do. It's just a matter of getting Mike McDaniel on the same page with Harbaugh. That might be a bit of an issue right now.
Chris O'Leary, they're all going to have to get going, Jackie, on that. And so I think it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time, but they really have to get that going fast.
Oh, no doubt.
And they got to get that moving. And like you said, the offense, Justin Herbert, we got to put it all together and make this team do some good stuff this year.
Because they have the potential to go into the playoffs deep.
They do. They just got to put it together, and they will. I think. I feel very confident. Well, anyway, this is On Point Live. Just make sure that you do go to harmonycheese.com and check them out. They got the greatest cheese around. Our email is onpoint@crntalk.com. Don't forget to email us with any questions you might have. We'll be right back. Well, welcome back to On Point Live. We want to thank Harmony Cheese for being our sponsor, and make sure you go to their website, harmonycheese.com, and order some fantastic cheese. Jackie, we were talking about the NFL and a lot of the quarterback decisions they're making and all this competition that's going on. We have around the league, we really see it. It's really evident. How about if we go to the Cleveland Browns? Okay, they have Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders. They're both going at it. Todd Monken has named Deshaun Watson QB1.
Yes, already.
Okay, and it is happening, but they're still competing. But, he's undergone quite a bit of criticism from the fans.
Yes.
Can you give me your reflections of that? And I think that the fans have a right to voice their opinions, whatever they feel.
Absolutely.
You have to do what you have to do on the field to convince the fans that you're the guy that they like.
That they want to support.
That's
and
right.
The reality of all of this, you are an actor. We are actors. We have roles to play that are consistent with every other team in the National Football League, but we're actors. And as we come out and do our jobs, then our popularity will either be growing or it will be diminishing. Mm-hmm. Now, one of the things that you don't do as an actor is you don't come out and start saying, hey, you guys that bought those seats over there, you got to like me.
Or you're being disrespectful.
Or you're being disrespectful. You don't address the fans. What you do is you earn the fans' approval.
Support.
You earn their support and approval. How do you do that, Vince? Mm-hmm. By being the very best.
Your actions on the field.
By being the very best that you could possibly be for their team.
Correct.
Contributing to their team. Now, Todd Monken's made a decision, perhaps a little early, but he says that he feels that Deshaun Watson gives his football team the best chance to move the ball, the best chance to score points, and to win games. Mm-hmm. And that's what he's saying, looking at Shedeur Sanders, who wasn't so bad at 9 of 11 for 74 yards and a touchdown. That's not unreasonable. But Deshaun Watson has been there, and they are still trying to justify the big money guaranteed contract that they gave him there. He's had a couple of setbacks with injuries on his leg there, on his lower leg there, his foot, and he feels like he's being given another chance. Now, what he did was he sought some sympathy from the fans early by saying, oh, they boo me, they boo me, they boo me. I've done everything I could for the community, but I get booed. That's seeking sympathy. I don't think that's what he really wanted to do.
Right.
So he ultimately came out and blasted the fans for booing him, and then subsequently he apologized for blasting them. The reality of it all is do what you do so well that they won't have any reason to criticize what you're doing.
Well, and I think Deshaun Watson, too, realizes that this is his last leg to stand on. Jackie, this is his last go-around. And he knows he has a really quality coach in Todd Monken. And so he now is going to think about it. This is my last shot. I have another shot. Let me go out and perform. Now, he didn't do too well in the last preseason game. Mm-hmm. But I think overall, once he gets his mindset, he really puts the work ethic, the drive that he had when he came out of college. And I think if he puts that together, I think he'll show the Browns fans that he's the Deshaun Watson that they went after and spent all this money for.
Perhaps you're right, Vince.
And, he's got a good quarterback in Shedeur Sanders as well, and he's getting better and better.
And he's impatient.
There's more time for him than there is Deshaun Watson.
He's very impatient sitting there, and I'm sure he expresses that all the time to Todd Monken. But like Todd Monken said, and I agree with him, because there are a whole lot of other people depending on this decision, he gives us the best chance to move the ball and to score touchdowns. Right. And that's the reason why he's going with him.
That's right.
I'm all on board with that, and I'm thinking Shedeur Sanders, his day will eventually come.
It will, Jackie. And if I was the coach for Deshaun Watson, I'd tell him, boy, this is it. You got to go out and do it now.
Yeah,
you put your mind to it. Put your mind to the grindstone,
I think
and let's go get this thing
I think
and be ready to go. and put all the other distractions away on the side, on the back burner, and you just focus and concentrate on football.
Absolutely.
And I think
leave the fans alone.
Let them cheer for you. Don't let them boo you.
Yeah, don't let them boo you because you're opening your mouth too much.
Well, hey, let's go to the Minnesota Vikings real quick here. J.J. McCarthy, he's been demoted, Jackie, with Kyler Murray going to QB1, but now Carson Wentz is stepping up. And what's happening over there with Kevin McCarthy? Because he's the quarterback whisperer.
I don't know, but if you just think about it, Vince, this has been a mess all the way back since Kawisi, Adolfo Mensa let Sam Darnold lead.
The general manager.
Let Sam Darnold lead. Now, he's got hired. He's a good personnel guy, Mensa, because he's over at the 49ers now. They hired him just this past year. But when he let Sam Darnold go, and then to see the way Sam Darnold played down the stretch for Seattle winning the Super Bowl and everything, that had to be the final straw in the personnel decision back there. But Kevin O'Connell, the quarterback whisperer as we know him now, Kevin O'Connell is he's probably a little bit shaken right now, Vince, because J.J. McCarthy was a guy that I'm sure he signed off on to get him to stay there. Subsequent to that, they let not only did they leave the quarterback to go to
Sam Darnold.
Yeah, not only did they leave him out, but now they brought in Kyler Murray.
Yes.
The miniature one that you used to refer to him as.
Well,
now, here Kyler Murray has come in, and he has clearly beaten J.J. McCarthy out. Not only has Kyler Murray –
I don't know if he's actually beaten him out. He was given the number one before they even went into the competition.
But Vince, look who else is on
Carson Wentz.
Carson Wentz.
Oh, yeah.
Carson Wentz a few years ago was the second hottest quarterback in the draft to Jared Goff. Well, now he's there. Do you think that this kid is going to survive both of those players, especially when you consider the fact that both these guys are meaty, girthy guys, look like football players when he perhaps doesn't?
Well, what's it saying? What have you done for me lately?
What have you done for me lately?
You're going to have to prove it. Just go out, and a lot of these quarterbacks got something to prove. The Steelers have the same thing with Mike McCarthy, and their offensive coordinator, Brian Angelico's got a little decision-making because he's got 4 quarterbacks on that. Of course, Aaron Rodgers is not playing, but he's got Mason Rudolph backing him up. Mason's pretty good backup quarterback now, but they've got 2 young quarterbacks, Will Howard out of Ohio State and Drew Aller from Penn State.
What do you think about the Aller guy?
I like both those guys.
Okay.
And, they didn't play so well, but you know what? It's a team game. So I don't know what they're doing offensively. They got to put it together, and they just can't have – Aaron Rodgers steal the show and just create whatever he wants to. It's a team game. Everybody's got to be on the right page.
Right.
Okay, so they got to put it together, and defensively they'll be strong. But let's see if Mike McCarthy. I think he knows how to handle that quarterback room, and I think they'll have some strides this year.
I do too, Vince. Before we pass and get going, the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins now, I've seen them lose teams in general, lose players that they perceive to be their leaders, and then all of a sudden the team went flat until it found a new identity. It looks like some of that is going on over here with the Dolphins, man, because, to have 12 3-and-outs on offense, 12 3-and-outs, and only 3 points over the next 19 drives that they had.
Yeah.
That does not bode well for a healthy offensive football team that's going 12 3-and-outs in a preseason game.
There's certainly no depth on that Miami team. They're going to have to do some resolve and looking back and try to figure out something going forward.
And maybe get a quarterback.
That'll help, Jackie. How about the Falcons? Falcons got a young quarterback over there too now. Jack Stroud, 6'5", 240.
Jack
Strand. Yeah, Strand.
But I was listening to him, Vince, as he was being interviewed by the media, and this guy sounded like he gets it.
Yeah.
He sounds like he puts the blame in the right places. Yeah. He puts the credit in the right places.
He sounds focused.
He strategically talk about what they got to trying to get accomplished. And he just sounds like a much more mature quarterback that's been around this league for a lot longer. He's a big guy too, right?
Yeah, 6'5".
6'5", 240 or something like that.
Yeah, they beat the Colts 34-6.
Yeah,
Jackie.
I'm looking forward to watching his development because I was really impressed with him at that presser.
Yeah, we'll see. I think especially he sounded intelligent. He knows what to talk about and put everything in the right perspective. Hey, Jackie, what about what in the world? What in the world? Now, here's one for you. Okay, let me tell you.
What in the world?
Ball State. This quarterback's name's Keldrick Luster. He's a starting quarterback for Ball State, Jackie. You know what he is? He's 5'10", 250 pounds.
250 pounds. That ain't no quarterback. That's a pulling guard is what that is. Or a defensive tackle.
What kind of team they going to have?
I don't know. Their offensive coordinator must be seeing something really special. And the head coach that let him go, we talk about guys with range and vision.
Yeah.
Listen, I always maintain that football is a big man's game. And a good big man is always is always better than a good little man.
Get some height, though.
But not at the quarterback position, Vince. Come on. You got to be realistic.
Oh, man.
I got to see this guy play. Because in my mind right now, I'm seeing a huge target.
Yeah.
It's not like you're going to have to reach out too far to hit him on the arm.
No.
I'm seeing a huge target that perhaps has a limited scrambling ability.
Hey, Jackie, let's talk about the preseason here in joint practice. The Saints came out to play the Rams, but then they went to Oxnard to play the Cowboys in a preseason matchup. Right. And, both coaches, they almost ended practice early because all the fights they had.
Yeah, $500,000, right?
Each team. So $500,000 each team was fined for all these different altercations they had on the field. And what's going on with these guys?
It's spewed over, and it was on national media. It made national media because those two, obviously the Cowboys are a very high-profile team. But, the tempers flare sometimes.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of reasons. There's a lot of reasons that I've seen fights occur in practice. I remember we were down in San Diego, and I was blocking this young man. He was a young man. I don't even remember his name. But at some point in time, it wasn't so much about him countering what I was doing to him. It was about him showing his coaching staff that he was tough. And so right over in front of their bench, he gave me an underhanded blow, everything, and I knew he was off. He was wrong to do that.
So what'd you do to him?
So I raked him across his. I just raked my 7 studs across his private, and then all hell broke loose.
Oh, big fight broke out.
It was a big fight, but sometimes these guys are trying to show their coaches that they're tough. Yeah. And I understand that. I've seen that over the years because they might come in there with any little thing that indicated that they were soft. Yeah. And they couldn't handle the rigors of the sport. And so they're looking for something. And so you might have had that going on. You might have just had some big egos out there that thought they were dominating some little guy and they wanted to take advantage. A lot of reasons why. But you got
to prove yourself before the whistle blows.
And you got to prove yourself doing your job.
That's right.
Not with the extracurricular activity.
Let's go out there.
Of shoving somebody or anything like that. This particular guy came close to spitting in my face. Don't let me tell you. Let me not forget that.
That would have drove me crazy too.
So as the spit was coming from his mouth, I made sure that my 7 studs was reaching his testicles.
Okay. Well, he deserves it.
I shouldn't have done it.
Yeah, well,
could have hurt his family.
We got something to talk about here. This is very impactful in college football, okay, Jack? The NCAA's new eligibility rules and the resulting lawsuits have blurred the line between college and professional sports.
Unbelievable.
Okay, for the first time, an athlete can potentially leave college, pursue a professional career, and then return to college to play again.
That's absolutely.
What in the world
I don't know.
is going on?
I don't know. And there's a lawsuit out there right now, right?
Huh?
There's a lawsuit of 10 players that are challenging this rule, saying they can come back into the college.
And only one has favored the college.
It's unbelievable, man. I never thought we'd see this. But what we're seeing now is the product of the staff of the NC2A for decades not spreading the wealth around. Spreading them on themselves, but not spreading it back to the players.
And only 1.5% of the players actually go to professional football from college.
Right.
Isn't that funny?
Right.
It's not very many at all. Well, Jackie, this, that'll go round and around. We'll address that as we get going. That's not going to change, but we got to hopefully that doesn't continue along that path. Anyway, this is On Point Live. We want to thank our sponsors, Harmony Cheese, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel, On Point Live with Vince and Jackie. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, on.point.live. So we're right here at On Point. Don't go away. We'll be right back for closing up. Hey, well, welcome back to On Point Live. Thanks again to Harmony Cheese for being our sponsor. And here, Jackie, we're talking about college football. And one of the main problems that we see today is when players are unhappy at a school, they can enter a portal. and they can switch colleges or switch platforms wherever they want. But what the problem is, of 7,500 kids that went into the portal, only a third of them were accepted. So 2/3 weren't even accepted somewhere else.
Right.
So now they've come up with a solution for that. It's called the Next Play Showcase in Sports Academy.
Absolutely.
Vince, is that a second chance? Another combine?
Well, it's kind of like a combine.
Okay.
Players transferring from college historically, leaving college and going to the pros would be invited, at least the cream of the crop would be invited to the combine, NFL combine, to showcase their wares. Well, now Next Play Showcase plus Sports Academy has created basically a combine for those kids that have gone into the portal. Why did they do that? Because there are several of these players who have not been seen. They're there because of a lot of uncertainties and in roster limits and There's a whole gambit of reasons why people enter the portal, but getting out of the portal and finding placement has been something that has been difficult, at least since 2024.
Yeah, because once you make that commitment to go into the portal, you can't go back to that school.
No, you can't.
So you have to. There may be no place for you to go.
Right. So Next Play Showcase and his co-founder Bud Dupree are partnering with the Sports Academy to create athlete first platform. The goal is to help players get evaluated, get exposure, and connect directly with coaches, scouts, and decision makers. People who can advise them on, hey, you should be going this way, you should be going that way. So I think that's great, and I knew it was something like that was eventually going to be coming our way. Bud Dupree, I take my hat off to him because there are a lot of young men that are making rash decisions, and they're not well founded.
And then this
first gives them
event,
an opportunity to get some meat behind their decisions, if you will.
The first major event will take place January 27th. Okay, Jackie, in Melissa, Texas.
Right, and there are going to be NFL and college scouts there. Probably more scouts from those two areas than any other time other than the combine.
And it will be streamed nationally.
Absolutely.
Well, we hope to help the kids out. Well, anyway, Jackie, it was a great show. Always fun to visit with you in this preseason, and we're only a couple weeks away from the regular season, so things are coming up. Thank Harmony Cheese and everybody else who supported our event. What do we say here, Jackie, at On Point Live?
Stay on point.